Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Jessica Valadez, and if you are new here, welcome to the family. And if you are not new here, thank you for being here again. Today we are doing a really fun video that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it is indeed inspired by a video that I saw from Cut. Cody Ko, move over. I'm coming for your neck. A few weeks ago, I stumbled upon a video from Cut where women paint nude self-portraits of themselves. It felt like it was something that I would highly benefit from and I would enjoy doing and would fit perfectly on my channel. So I decided that I was going to do it myself, basically. In the video, these women get their pictures taken professionally by some photographer. We're working with a different budget over here. So I decided to take my own nude self-portraits. I took pictures. I took really great pictures. Also in the video, they gave the women wine, so we're drinking it up. Honestly, I just need a little bit to take the edge off because I don't know, this is really vulnerable and I want to be vulnerable. I don't want to have any walls up. I don't want to hold back. I want to get just raw and transparent and naked with you guys. Got some Pinot Noir. I've never painted before. Just a disclaimer. Have I? Yes, I have. I don't know why I'm lying. The wine's making me a liar. I've never painted like professionally before. I've only painted through like a painting class. I've never done anything where it's like painting myself, painting somebody. So pressure's on. Pressure's on. Have you always been comfortable showing your naked body? As much as I am quote unquote comfortable sharing my physical experiences on the internet, I don't think I've ever been comfortable showing my naked body like I do on YouTube. Not that I show my naked body, actually, I don't. My upbringing wasn't very communicative about any physical experiences. So growing up, I had an older sister, and obviously I grew up with my mom, and so I had these like female figures in my life, but I didn't really have that like open communication about what happens to a woman's body as she ages or as she grows up. My sister had a way harder experience growing up because she was the first one to go through everything, and then once I went through stuff, I kind of had her as like a buffer to go to. She had my mom, but my mom is very private and a very shy person, which is not something you would get from looking at me. I get most of my outward expression kind of stuff from my dad. Growing up, I was very curious. Such a curious little bitch. I remember in elementary school, me and my friends would gather around because one of my friends was maturing faster, which this is gonna sound insane. So we all gathered like around recess, and she was like, "Do you guys want to see my boobs?" Which is insane, like what? But of course, just as like little curious girls, we don't know what the hell boobs are, like what these things are that are growing on us. Like we gathered around in a circle and she just showed us her boob. What? I hope somebody else has had that experience because I know it sounds crazy. That's what life is. You're just like running around trying to see people's boobs because you're like, wait, you have those too, right? I just barely got comfortable like showing my body because I think we're all so awkward in our own bodies until a certain age, and I feel like I'm finally getting to that unawkward stage where I'm like, oh wow, this body fits me, I feel good in it and it's mine. I've never necessarily felt comfortable with showing my body, but I've always been curious with what happens in the body and the female body especially, like why it is the way it is, why our vagina looks like that, why our vagina changes colors, shapes, and sizes as we grow older. Like what? Next question is, can you name any big moments you've had in your physical life? I wanna say the time I lost my virginity, because it was actually a really positive experience, which is never heard, at least from what I've heard from like most people, when you ask them, it's like a terrible experience. For me, it was a really sensual, beautifully awkward experience. Like, it was two humans that did not know what they were doing, but just wanted the other to feel safe and loved. I know that involves someone else, but I think that was like a big part of exploring my body. It helped me see like what my body is capable of with someone else. I started masturbating at like 10 probably. I was like a horny little bitch. I don't know. But when I lost my virginity, I explored that much more of my sexual self than I ever was able to by myself. When it's like a consensual experience, just like a wanted experience with someone that you trust, I think that's like very important. I'm really trying to do a good job here. Ooh, how were you taught to think about your body? Wow. I grew up in a Mexican household. The Mexican culture is pretty misogynistic and, you know, has that machismo culture. We were never taught about like our own sexuality. We were just taught that men just wanted us for our body and to be careful about what we wore, you know, stranger danger. When I got to the point where I started participating in sex, even though it was in a relationship, it was just this scary, daunting thing that I was not safe in no matter what, and I was gonna be no longer wanted. I think that's like one of the fears that I was taught. Even if it is consensual, like I now lose value whenever I do it. So it's like I didn't deserve it. It was forbidden in the men's eyes, but also in the women's eyes. It kind of felt like, what is this body for then? What's the first time you were impressed by your body? Ooh, that's such a good question. That one time I went 20 rounds with this dude. Just kidding. I know there's one. I'm just trying to think of like the one. The first time I ever tried a menstrual cup. I think that's when I was really excited about having a female body. Up until then, it was just kind of like this hassle to have and carry around, and like every month it was like this thing where I had to stick this tampon up me, and then even then my body would reject it or the tampon would not work for me. It was just like all these problems that I was just like, God, a woman's body is like defective, when in actuality most of the products that are made for us are defective. Like, they are not truly made for us. So I think when I first tried the menstrual cup and it worked for me, you know, it took a couple tries, it took, you know, trial and error and learning and finding the right menstrual cup for me, which now is the menstrual cup by Flex. I love that one. That's the one I'm using actually right now because I'm on my period. That's when I was like, wait, being a woman is so dope. My body keeps the cup inside of me, and like my body is working with this product. I know that sounds kind of silly. It was like we were reclaiming what having a period looked and felt like. So that was pretty awesome. Tell me about a time you felt betrayed by your body. Oh, wait. I think I was gonna say another experience, but I think actually I'm gonna talk about a funny experience. Okay. Look at that. I cannot keep the flannel on. So sorry. All right, so we're gonna talk about the amazing first time that all women do at least once in their life. No, at least 5 times in their life. And it's when you queef. After sex. Yep, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that this happens to us. I just don't understand why. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Everyone's been there, right? Like, I cannot be the only one, and I know I'm not the only one. But you guys know what a queef is. It's, you know, when your pussy farts. Luckily, it was with a boyfriend at the time, but that boyfriend sucked. But still, very embarrassing. I don't know if it's even worse or better when it's with your boyfriend. We gotta talk about it. We gotta, like, acknowledge that it happened. Oh God. We were done. I lied on his side and just, like, explosion. Oh my God. Oh my God. One after the other. Like, I just couldn't stop. And I didn't know when it was done. I was just like, oh my fuck. He was just like, what the fuck was that? And I was just like, oh no. I don't know. It just happened as if I knew already, like, what was going on. Don't women have it hard enough? Like, you had to give them the ability to queef. Like, why? It's very natural and it's nothing to be actually ashamed about. Like, I literally did it the other day because I was stretching. Makes no sense. Do you have scars you're proud of? I definitely have one scar that I'm very proud of, but I did nothing for. I do have a scar on my right abdomen area. I believe I was like 1 or younger. My parents obviously tell me this story because I don't recall it. My stomach was attached to my intestine, or some organs inside of me were attached that were not supposed to be attached. Every time I went poop in my diaper, I would bleed. They would take me to a bunch of doctors and they never knew what was wrong with me. Eventually they found like a specialist that finally found the problem, and so they had to surgically go inside, detach them, sew them up. While they were inside, they also took out my appendix. You know, my parents always say like, you could have died, like you were going to die. And I was like, y'all are being dramatic. Something bad would have probably happened or kept happening, and I'm just really glad that they caught it, and I'm so grateful to be alive, because even though it's like such a minimal thing that I don't even remember, I mean, it's the reason I'm probably here today, which is crazy to even say. I owe my parents everything. Okay, the way I drew this makes it look like I have a bush, but I just shaved my bush. So last question, we're here. What's your relationship to your body now? I think I've focused on my mind for so long and being so self-aware of like my mental state that I lost track of like keeping in touch with my physical self. My relationship with my body now, I think, is definitely a work in progress, meaning I'm learning how to care for it. I'm learning what's right for it and what's not right for it, like what it likes to eat, what it doesn't like to eat, how it likes to exercise. I think my body is still changing a lot as I'm growing older. I'm realizing more and more about my body and how it works, and that's why I make these videos, because I know growing up, especially as a woman, it's just very scary, and like you don't really know what's going on half the time with your body. For so long, I think I just never had any kind of opinion of my body other than I didn't like it because it was so skinny most of my life. Then I finally kind of like grew into it, got a little bit of curves here and there, and at a certain point I think I really was grateful for my body because it obviously like kept me alive. It digested my food for me even though I would eat like shit, and it would be so forgiving to me. I just want to treat it better and I want it to grow healthier, but I also know to not be too strict on myself. All right, so I'm done with my portrait here. Ready for the reveal. I'm scared. 1, 2, 3. Aww. This is the final product. I'm so happy with it. As you can see, I kind of went full on here. So I actually retouched the self-portrait after I filmed the video because I felt like the vag was not being represented accurately. So I took a little more time with it, and then what came out was this. This is the final portrait, and I actually put it out on my Patreon already along with the actual photos I took on my iPhone. So you can find that on Patreon and check it out if you want to. I love my body. Oh, this is so cute. This is such a good exercise. I knew I was gonna feel like fulfilled after this, and I feel more than fulfilled. I feel so happy and so positive. We will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell so you never miss another video. Comment down below what you guys want to see next. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.